Good day to you all. In this video, in the case of DeepSeek, just go where my last prompt is. This is where my prompt is. Ready to use prompt. Just going to copy it out. Now to test this prompt, I'm going to apply this prompt to ChatGPT to test it if it's going to give me exactly what I want. So I'm going to supply the prompt to ChatGPT. Now this is me supplying the prompt to ChatGPT, and I'm going to check the prompt. I'm going to copy this into DeepSeek. I'm going to remove all that. I'm going to remove all that. I don't need that. So, all good. Now, here, I'm going to make it 40 minutes instead of 80 minutes because I don't want it to be 80 minutes. And then I think I'll just leave the rest. I think I'm okay with the rest of everything that is here. Note, I had local essay examples. Also, suggest Nigerian theme passage about academic perseverance. Now I can decide to remove this because I already have a passage I'm going to be using in my textbook for the students. So I'll just remove this one. In your own case, you may not have, and you can have the AI suggest to use. For GPT, I'll use Think Longer. Let's have ChatGPT provide the lesson plan for us. So let's see what happens. You can see the thinking process. Although if you want to see that ChatGPT takes a few seconds before it started creating a lesson plan. Now you can see there's a mixed up. Now I didn't actually tell the AI who I am, so it's just come up with a name. Now the teacher's name, which I can always edit, English language, the class, the date, which it doesn't have, it just puts a dash there. The 40 minutes duration, the textbook is new concept English SS1. It's put the unit and put the dash. Passage on what? Passage on perseverance. Lesson objectives. By the end of this lesson, students will be able to identify main ideas and supporting ideas in the graded text. Now, the reason why this is like this is because definitely I didn't state how many lesson objectives I want the AI to have for me. So I didn't state that, and well, that's a shortcoming. That's the reason why it's very important to review your prompt. Don't forget that I'm actually taking this directly from DeepSeek and putting it here. Review your prompt, put in all the other details. Then introduction, step one, introduction. Oh, that's 3 minute project, a famous Nigerian proverb. That is something I just need to tell my students when I first started the class, and then activate their power knowledge, and then presentation steps, the stage, activity, align with collaborative learning model. That is the model it is using to prepare this lesson plan for me. And it is eventually timing itself. It is timing itself. Peer reading activity, individually scheme the title. These are student activity here. What the student has to do during reading, the student should read passage, underlining familiar words and circling any simile or metaphor. The post-reading group analysis, the jigsaw group. 4 groups focus on the student. The group A should focus on main idea and supporting details. Group B should focus on vocabulary and context. Now, you can see that it has provided my lesson plan for me the way I want it to be. Now, if I need any tweak here and there, I can just easily. Now, let's say, for example, I want this lesson objective to just be 3 lesson objectives. All I need to do is go back to my prompt and state it clearly. Let's see that. I'll just come here, click on edit, go to where I talk about lesson objective. Can you see learning objectives? I have 5 to 6 items here, so I can just take it back and put only 3 items or 4 items. Now that I've adjusted that, I can just click send again and let it do its work. It will just adjust it, and when it comes back again, it should be having just the number of lesson objective I have stated. It's taking me to Canva. I don't know if okay. Yeah, let's go into Canva for lesson planning. That's the font I'm going to be using anytime I want to plan lesson. I'm just going to be tweaking it, changing the topic, changing the steps, and a couple of other stuff. But this is the font I'm going to be using anytime I'm planning lesson. And well, don't forget that you should always be revising the prompt anytime you want to suit it to the new topic you are actually working on. It has prepared the lesson plan for 21st July, which now the names keep fluctuating because I didn't provide my name anyway. English language, reading comprehension, all things. Now you can see that the learning objectives has been revised, keep in place, condensed, and you can see that the introduction has also been revised to match those learning objectives. Since the learning objectives are 3, I see that the introduction has been revised as well. Refer students to recent essays. Now, definitely what I'm going to do now here The presentation steps has also been revised. It's not on the table anymore. I would have prefer that one that is actually on the table. I would prefer that one that's actually on the table. Honestly, I would prefer that one that's actually on the table. So I can also go back if I want it to be on the table. I can easily go back. I think I am okay with with the evaluation question that I provided. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the home assignment that has been provided. I'm okay with the summary that has been provided and the assignment that has been provided. This is go take home assignment. Well, one thing about lesson plan is you can always leave out one or the other, and if you're student absent. What I'm going to quickly do now is add to my prompt at the same time. So add to my prompt, I'm quickly going to come back here. I'm going to add to my prompt. Now don't forget, I'm building up my prompt. I'm building up my prompt. The presentation steps should be on a table, showing showing what the teacher will do, and what the students will do. Also, structure the language of the lesson plan in the future tense, focusing on stressing what the teacher will do and what the students will do where necessary. Where necessary. Now that I've revised this, now ChatGPT have an uncanny way of always trying to revise the Canva whenever it provides anything for you. To not make this a longer video than it is already, because it's already a long video already. So I'm just going to copy this one out. I'm going to press send here and have it incorporate every addition. Now, as I'm adding more to this particular prompt, I'm building up my prompt. So I'm going to go, okay, I have it copied, copyable, select all, copy. Now I've copied, send. Now, while it is creating for me, I'm going to quickly go to my own notepad. Now on my notepad, I'm going to save my prompt because this is the prompt I'm going to be using now. This is the prompt. So this is my model prompt. Let's go back to ChatGPT and see what it gives us. Lesson objective as 3 in number, the introduction to the lesson. Please, if you don't want the introduction to be this long, you can just let it know that the introduction should be in one statement and that will be all. Okay. Now you can see that my presentation is now in tables again. You can see that it is back and it is in tables again. It is back and it is in tables again. You see presentation in steps, aligning with collaborative learning, teacher's activity, student activity. It has already prepared that for me. And I have a little note here. Reading between lines is like listening to silence musical notes. Students will silently read the first two. This is a note for the teacher. This is a note for me personally. This is personally made for me. Now the evaluation is here, all cool and go ready to go. The assignment is here. The summary of the lesson is here, and if I have additional assignment I want to give to the student is here. End of my lesson plan. Now I can copy this lesson plan and go into my own Microsoft Word. Now there's a part where there's a way you can also provide your lesson framework to the AI, but we are going to look at that in our into next class eventually. Into next class, create, and I can easily paste the lesson plan provided here. Good. Just like that, I have my lesson plan all ready to go. Let me save this. Lesson plan for SS1. Lesson plan for SS1. All cool and ready to go. So you can see that I have my, let me put this in mobile view for easy reference. So teacher's details all ready to go. Learning objectives, introduction to the lesson, the table, the presentation of steps. This is the method that it is using. You can see that it is aligned with collaborative learning. Since it's a comprehension passage, you can see further notes on how I'm going to execute the lesson is already here. The evaluation. Now, if your own lesson plan, my own lesson plan doesn't have conclusion, I'm having a summary. It only have a summary. If you look at the lesson plan I provided, an assessment, and just like that, all ready to go. Maybe one thing I would just like to add here is maybe, let's say, maybe my reference material. I just add my reference material here. New concept, English. But I think that has been added up there at the beginning. You can see textbook, English language, English. That has been added over here already. Good to go. This is how to create your prompt. This is how to create your model prompt. This is how to create your model prompt. Thank you very much. I'll see you in class